Who the hell would do this? Did you hear this? Were you paying attention to this earlier?
I wasn't paying attention.
I just caught it, and then I saw the headline. Here, take a listen.
And a 25-year-old Bay Area man was arrested Monday after a CHP officer spotted him riding in the back seat of his Tesla. Sharma told the Associated Press in an interview yesterday that he didn't feel that he did anything wrong, and he'll keep riding in the back seat with no one behind the steering wheel. He said he started riding in the back seat of autonomously driving Tesla vehicles years ago. Nick Josephowski is chief policy officer at the Bay Area nonprofit Spur and says Sharma put everyone around him in danger.
So you shouldn't let an autonomous vehicle drive on its own in the same way that you shouldn't let your kid who doesn't have a driver's license drive on their own.
With your Central Coast headlines, I'm Scott Taylor.
He said, I'm going to continue to do it even though I got pulled over.
Yes, arrest him.
This
Take
is
his
where
license
we
away.
need to employ Sweden's philosophy. And I'm not about socialism. I think it's Sweden or Switzerland. One of the two. I forget what it is. But one of the countries, it might have even been Denmark. I don't know. But they give you tickets based on your income, not on your offense. So say I'm driving down the freeway.
Okay. Like they used to do with license tabs in certain states. It would be based on the value of your vehicle.
Yes.
Some states do a flat fee.
Right.
Some states do based on the percentage of your vehicle, which is what we do in California. And I don't like that because...
Say I'm driving down the freeway and I'm pulling up next to Elon Musk, even though he no longer lives here. He lives in Texas. But we're driving down the freeway together in our Teslas. And he's doing 90 and I'm doing 90. We both get pulled over. You ever see a cop pull over two people? That's pretty impressive. I like it when they do that. Like, damn, that police officer who's got his ass together. He's able to pull over two people at one time. Pulls us both over. I get a $700 ticket, man. That's gonna devastate me. Elon Musk, he's like $700, nothing. That's why, whatever this guy's income is, you base tickets based on income.
Yeah, because obviously a $1,000 fine to this guy is probably nothing. Hit him with a $100,000
talk about getting
fine.
revenue. I mean, I know we're in a surplus, and Gavin Newsom's giving back all this money that they've been collecting in Sacramento over the last few years.
But at the same time, when we're doing that, what I don't like about it is we're punishing somebody for being successful and wealthy, and I don't like punishing wealthy.
No, we're punishing
people
them for speeding,
just for being wealthy.
But that's not true. That's not true because they get no punishment whatsoever for being reckless and putting other people's lives in danger. Because what's $500 to them? Whatever the infraction is,
it should the penalty. You should feel the same sting no matter who you are, where you live, or what you drive. I understand that part of it. This guy was in the back seat.
This is not the same thing as raising the tax rate on the wealthy. This is you're breaking the rules. Therefore, you must pay your fair share.
If somebody's out there, call us. If you have a Tesla, you drive a Tesla, I want to talk to you. How the hell do you drive a car from the back seat?
You don't.
I know it.
You hope for the best.
How do you? Do you control it from your phone? Is it like got an app? Does Tesla have an app? And you're like, all right, yeah, we're going to go here and here, and here's the address we want to go to. Go. I mean, how does that work? How do you actually get a car to start driving from the back seat? Was he in the front seat, started the directions on where to drive and hit the autonomous feature and then got in the back seat? Very curious how that works. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi. So I have a Tesla, but I didn't pay the extra $10,000 for the complete auto drive feature.
Okay.
Mine only works for like 2 minutes, but I don't have to hold the steering wheel. It knows when to turn. It knows there's a car in front of it. I mean, it drives better than most people that are on the road.
Okay, so my question is, now, we've been driving the new Paso Robles Fords, and they have this, driver assist. But if you don't move the steering wheel every 5 seconds, there's a little light that flashes that says, make sure your hands are on the steering wheel. Yeah, hold on to the wheel. Does your car do that as well?
Mine will do it after 2 minutes, like I said, because I didn't pay the extra $10,000 for the complete.
Sure.
Make it drive itself. But I tell you what, if I lived in L.A. and I was in L.A. traffic and I was sitting there, if you put this thing in cruise control, it will base everything off of the car in front of you and the speed limit and everything else. It auto brakes, it auto steers, it auto corrects. And I was afraid of it at first, and I was like, oh, whoa, like I kept like putting it out of the mode. But it works, man. It's safe. And once you trust that thing, and this guy obviously paid the extra money for it to drive itself, it totally drives itself.
But you can't
It's
agree
like
with
a Tesla.
you can't agree with this guy sitting in the back seat, not even being in
No,
the
I'm
driver's
not.
seat.
He's just being cocky now.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a prick, right? What a
Cocky,
rich
I got
ass
an extra
prick.
$10,000 to spend on the full
Yeah.
autonomous side of the feature.
Look what I
Check
got.
me out.
You poor son of a bitch. You got the non-autonomous
I wonder if
feature.
he pulls up to people in the traffic jam, if he rolls down his back window and says, excuse me, do you have any Grey Poupon?
I would,
I
at
think-
least
I
once.
think I would want some Grey Poupon, too, if I was sitting in the back.
Hey, I got a question with when you punch in an address and it just takes you to where you're going. Will it do a 90-degree turn without you?
I don't know. I didn't have the extra $10,000, but I bet it would.
Not even
I
within
think
your
it
2-minute window? You've never tried it within your 2-minute window? Say, oh, we're going to, I don't know.
Well, mine doesn't do that. Mine just does it's like cruise control, except it does everything. It
Okay.
does the brakes and the gas and the steering and everything,
Yeah.
but it's not like it's what I have navigated in there. It's just
Well,
staying between the lines that I'm on.
I hate to burst your bubble, but my wife's Honda Accord does the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's not
Does she buy gas though? Because I don't buy gas.
Okay, you win. I guess. Okay, you had to have the last laugh. Thanks for the call.
Bye-bye.
She actually probably saving a lot more money. That gal. She's probably saving a lot more money by not having to.
But yeah, I told you, my wife, we were in traffic down in Ventura, and you get down there, and, I was sitting in the driver's seat. I was, but the car it was driving itself, and I was just sitting there waiting for it, and it would come to a full stop, and we were in stop and go traffic, and then it would go up to 5 miles an hour, then it would stop. I mean, it does everything off the car in front of you, and it stays within the lane because it reads off the painted lines. I know her car would not do it. I don't think it would do a 90-degree turn because
No, I mean that's the thing with the Tesla. The Tesla, you could punch in if you get that extra feature. You could punch in the GPS and it will just take you there if you pay for the full autonomous package. This guy had.
I'm not a person to say that we need more laws, but in this situation, when you start building cars, that people are sitting, cocky son of a bitches, are in the back seat of. He's very lucky he didn't hurt somebody, and we hear stories all the time of people falling asleep and just letting their car drive, and they're passed out in the driver's seat. This guy was in the back seat, and these other people were in the driver's seat, asleep, and got in accidents. There has to be a stiffer penalty, especially if you put somebody in
Can
the
I
hospital,
tell you what's
hurt
awesome
somebody, or you kill somebody. You
about
should
this?
go down for manslaughter.
Is the fact
At bare minimum.
I think the best thing. I mean, sometimes you have to take some steps back to take big steps forward, and I think the best thing that could have happened over the past 4 or 5 years is these stories where the people are falling asleep behind the wheel, the stories where the autonomous vehicles are getting in accidents. Even though they're not supposed to get in these accidents, they're still ending up finding a way to get in these accidents because you remember 5 years ago, all the talk, all the rage was about autonomous vehicles taking over within the next decade. Now, pardon the pun, they've pumped the brakes on that whole idea that, okay, things are going to be autonomous. I was reading the other day that Uber was... they were full developed for autonomous because they don't have to pay a workforce.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Man,
for
had an Uber car kill somebody with an autonomous car, right?
Right. Yeah, so they are going away from that, and then they're creating cars now for their workforce, and that's a decade away. But still, the people are going to have to drive the vehicles. The robot revolution scares the crap out of me. Oh, gosh, you like Danny McBride.
It doesn't scare the crap out of me, but it does, like, the transition to it scares me. Like, once we're there and we figure it out, I'm not worried about it. But in the meantime.
It's a Netflix movie. It's for kids, but it's Danny McBride's the lead character, and he's the dad in it. But it's a cartoon, but it is great. It's Mitchells versus the Machines.
Okay.
And it's basically about the robot revolution taking over and how the Mitchells save the planet.
This has been happening in the skies on commercial airliners for over a decade. Planes land themselves. The pilots just sit there. They're not even, I don't know every single case, but that's the deal nowadays. They just let the plane, literally, computer lands itself. The pilots are just sitting there in case something goes wrong.
What would Sully think about that? He'd be like, man, back in my day, I used to land an airplane.
We've been sitting in this situation and letting computers land airplanes. I mean, that's kind of crazy for a very long time. So it only makes sense that cars would be there.
Whole question brought to you by SurfNet Communications was posted yesterday at 2:00. We had no idea we were going to be talking about Teslas. Maybe we should have added Tesla onto the options, but we were just talking about the robot revolution, and people are starting to be leery of big tech companies. People are not as trusting as they once were of big tech. Google is scaled back their privacy concerns, where they're, going to make it aware to people when they're entering into websites what the deal is. And even Apple, and we should have put Apple on the poll too. I guess they have control over us, by making us not put them on the poll. But, Apple, is full disclosure, here coming up soon with its users. They're going to make sure that, their users need to agree what they're getting into, what they're entering into when accessing certain web pages. And this affects Facebook and all kinds of different things.
If anything, Apple's looking out for us. I mean, they're going to say, hey, listen.
You got to watch Mitchell's.
This isn't just going to fly anymore.
Got to watch Mitchell's versus the Machines.
All right.
You have to watch.
This isn't going to fly anymore. We're going to make sure that these other pages and the social media groups like Facebook can't just take your information anymore. And so
you've got to watch that movie.
All right.
I'm serious. Mitchell versus the Machines.
Johnny's on the phone. Johnny Muff Cakes, what's up?
Hey, I was just calling to say to Jeff that he's totally right, dead on. I was actually going to call him and tell him about the versus the Machines movie, the Mitchells versus the Machines. I saw it with my son the other day. I've probably watched it 2 or 3 times. That
It's
movie
great.
is epically hilarious.
It is great. My kids are totally hooked on it. And I watched it. I actually watched it all the way through yesterday. And not all the way through. I was doing some stuff around the house, but I got, enough of it to grasp the concept. And it is hilarious for adults because
I can't believe how many nods they put into what's going on in the world today.
Right.
Who would have thought that giving your information to big tech wouldn't have been good for you? Like, hilarious.
No, it's so spot on. And it's all the criticisms that Facebook and Twitter and all these companies are facing right now is all condensed in that movie.
Into one perfect movie. And, for Jeremy, too, because Jeremy likes TV shows. I don't know if you guys have checked out the Designated Survivor. Have you seen that yet?
No, but I've had a friend tell me that it's very good. I got to look into it.
Oh, you must, man. Yeah, it's all the members of the cabinet, the presidency get wiped out in something, and there's a rule to where one member of the sitting cabinet gets set aside just in case that happens, and then the sitting cabinet person becomes president, and that's basically the story of the TV show. And, oh, my God, dude, it's the same thing as Mitchell's versus Machines. You're like, when were they telling us all this was going to happen? How many years ago?
What
next month?
What is that? What is it called again?
Designated Survivor.
We have to check that out. I like that
it's
kind of
either the last
conspiracy stuff.
Designated Survivor or just Designated Survivor. Yeah. So, all right.
What is it on?
A designated, yeah.
All right, thanks, buddy. Appreciate the call. Hader writes in and he says, "Hey, I'm 56 and I watch Mitchell's versus the Machine and I laugh my ass off.
It's
the
funny.
dog is hilarious."
You would love it because it's a little pug. Not quite a bulldog, but
I like
it's
pugs.
a pug.
I like pugs, too.
It is. Oh man, you got to watch that movie. It's a great movie.
They've been a real possibility for a long time. I don't know how this one got through and why this one happened, but
So you're trusting of the information.
Of the information that I vetted, it seems like, yes, I looked at a few different areas and it seems like it's a legitimate story.
What about when they say,
I mean, people are really, gas stations are really running out of gas. I mean, are you thinking that's made up?
I don't know.
When you watch the news and they're like, there's 40% of gas stations on the East Coast are out of gas.
North Carolina's really bad. I know.
Or maybe it was just North Carolina. I'm not sure. But it's pretty crazy. Yeah, but apparently they've got it fixed. They've got it up and running again. And so that
people will be
fixed.
getting their gas, but our gas prices, are they going to go down? That's
they
my
will
question.
They
for
will
you.
end up going back down. I believe. I mean, because issue was
it seemed like
I don't know why they went up.
Hours after the fact, after the hack was done, the CEO is down there on Wall Street screaming at the top of the lungs, "Yep, gas prices are going to go up as a result of this." And I'm like,
it's not a gas shortage situation from what I understand. From what I read, it was all due to this hack and this system failure that shut down a pipeline that delivers all this fuel to that region. So that was the reason there was a shortage. Once they get that fixed, it's going to go right back. But I did hear there was some places charging over $4 a gallon.
well, that's California.
I started laughing. I'm listening to news based out of New York on my radio, and they're talking about, oh my gosh, where gas prices are normally like over $2 a gallon, the gas prices are over $4 a gallon now due to this. I'm like, well, welcome to my house, welcome to my backyard.
Come to Gavin land. Come on. I mean,
We pay the taxes, man.
we're definitely over $4 a gallon. It's strange because now keep in mind where we were last year for Memorial Day.
We were together. I don't know what you mean.
No, I'm saying we were all in this together. Actually,
I was at my parents' house in Arizona.
No, but as a society, I'm not saying you and I would say where we were as society last year. We were all in this together.
Were we though? I don't know if we were, because I was. Everybody was staying home, and I was like, I'm going to go see my parents. People didn't even want you to leave the state. You were like, shut it down. I don't want Bakersfield here. I don't want Santa Barbara County
Ventura.
coming up. I
didn't want Ventura
Monterey
coming up.
County coming down. Shut down the borders. And I'm like, come on, Jeff. Don't do that. I got to go see my parents in Lake Havasu. I'm going to go hang out.
Can't come back.
They had a big Trump parade. You remember I showed you the boats? There was like over 500 boats with Trump flags on Memorial Day weekend. Everybody was in Lake Havasu. I mean, it was the busiest it's ever been. And there was a big spike after that.
Last year, 23 million Americans traveled for Memorial Day weekend. That's when gas prices were like at about $2.40 a gallon here. It's probably the lowest that they'd ever been. And now they're over $4 a gallon. And AAA anticipates that.
How did that happen?
AAA,
interesting.
AAA is expecting a 60% increase in travel this year, with 37 million Americans traveling at least 50 miles away from home over the holiday weekend.
So in 1 year, you're telling me gas prices have doubled on the Central Coast?
Well, close to, yeah.
I mean, yeah, pretty much doubled.
40%, yeah.
Just shy. When did they start going up? That's something I need to look into. When did gas prices start going up, and why?
This is why I don't believe the convenient truth of the hack and the convenient truth that.
But that's not affecting our gas prices.
I mean, I think it has a chain reaction across the board.
I don't think it will. Not in this situation.
The gas station down the street.
They just raised their gas prices in the last 24, 48 hours?
Yeah. I mean, it was the other day I drove by, it was $3.89. Now it's $4.09. Our gas prices have gone up. There's a chain reaction as a result of the market, of the market. And that's why I'm not believing these convenient truths from everybody. I'm not just saying it's just gas, but it's everybody. It's chicken, it's pork, it's what else is experienced. You could point out a problem in any industry in America. But what these industries are starting to figure out is, wow, people just got an influx of money. We've been losing money over the last year, or some industries have been losing money over the last year.
We've been getting these checks from the government for 9 months now.
No, I know, but we have a surplus in our personal incomes, and they're taking advantage of that dynamic in society.
You know what I heard, which I think is complete BS?
Get what you can while you can get it.
I heard that the reason the gas prices are going up is because people are going back to work and they're venturing out because they've got the vaccine. So more people are using gas, so it's going up. I don't know if I believe that.
Supply and demand, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Why wouldn't you believe it?
Hater writes in on the 805 beer text lines. They started going up as soon as they elected that guy Joe Biden. I can't say exactly what he wrote, but obviously,
well, yeah,
because
But I mean, okay, so they shut down the Keystone Pipeline. There's gas companies that had nothing to. There's oil companies that had nothing to do with the Keystone Pipeline, but it's a convenient truth that they can use to raise their prices.
I just think it's really,
it's the market.
I was getting gas the other day, and I was making a list on my phone of all the people I'm going to call and tell them to go screw themselves, because they're the reason we're paying for more gas. Not just them.
Who, people that drive big trucks?
No, it's how people voted in the last election. I was so angry. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. There is no reason for gas to have gone up like this again. But we're accept it because we dealt with this before. We finally got it fixed. We got it down. I was paying almost $2 a gallon there for a while. And now look, it's I go to Costco and it's way over $4.
This gentleman wants to clear up some things.
Go ahead, sir. You're on the air.
Listen, there is a problem with some of your statements.
Okay.
Okay? The Keystone Pipeline wasn't even complete yet.
Okay.
Okay? That oil was never even put in the American market.
Right, but no.
That oil was from Western Canada. It was tar sands oil, and it was too dirty for us to use.
Sir, I'm not saying, I'm not questioning. I don't know as much about the Keystone Pipeline as you probably do, because it sounds like you've done some reading. I'm saying oil companies are using it as a convenient truth to gouge prices. That's what I'm saying. Just like when there's a storm in Texas, pork producers say, "Oh, we're going to have a shortage on bacon this year. The price is going to go up." But they're pigs. Pigs are plentiful. Chickens, chicken wings are going to cost more this year because there was a storm in Texas. Chickens are plentiful. I'm saying these corporations are using these as convenient truths to raise their prices because they know that people have had an influx of cash from the government and they're going to try to grab as much of it as they possibly can.
Well, there might be some truth to that.
Okay, thank you.
As far as oil prices go, one of the reasons, and other food prices are going up, is because now that the pandemic is coming, hopefully to an end here, people are getting back to work. People are venturing out more. People are going to restaurants and whatnot.
We still had to eat, though. We still had to eat during the pandemic.
Right,
so we're going to, whether you go to a grocery store or whether you go to a restaurant, that should not affect the actual supply of pork or chicken.
Right, but what I read is that there's up to, I believe it said, between 40 and 50,000 truckers that have decided to retire, and there's not enough truckers to drive the goods, and that's what's causing a price spike.
Why did they decide to retire? Did they get a bunch of money?
That's what's causing gas prices. That's what's causing gas prices to double in 1 year. Or less than. I'm sorry. The gas prices didn't start going up until I think it was till this year, till January, February.
Right, and a lot of that has to do with the gas prices on the East Coast. They're going to start shipping oil that we get to help out the East Coast. That's what's going to happen, and that's going to cause our prices to go up. Okay, now that only happened a week ago. Okay. They were steadily going up anyway, and part of it is because a lack of truckers. They're just retired. They said, "Screw this. I'm old. I'm done with it.
That's
I
crazy.
don't want to work anymore."
Thanks for that's sorry. I can't buy that. There's other people that want to be truckers. There's younger people. It's not just old guys. It's not like if you go and you survey the age of truckers across the country, they're all 65 and they're like, I'm done.
They all signed up at the
crazy.
same.
Come on. How do you believe that?
They all signed up in the same year, Jeremy, and then they all are going to retire at the same time because they're done with it. Plus, I don't understand. You got to
find more sources for your news, man.
I don't understand the logic in the trucker, which I believe the trucker argument is another convenient truth that corporations are using to gouge prices because they can't get the supplies to where they're going, is because you can't. I mean, what is the logic of oh, well, there's a pandemic. Screw it. I'm out of here. If anybody should be safe in a pandemic, it should be a guy sitting in a truck by himself.
Somebody said you shut the country down, there's no demand. All of a sudden, you open the country back up, there's demand. Here's the thing. I don't know what world everybody's living in that there was no demand. People were still getting takeout. People were still going to grocery stores. People had to eat.
It's not like we just stopped eating for a year. In fact, we probably ate a hell of a lot more over the past year because we were bored.
And there are studies that done. Everybody got fat, the COVID-15. So don't tell me that people weren't buying groceries and conducting their lives. Maybe they were working from home, but come on. If you're buying that, come on.
It makes me mad that people are just accepting of this fact, and nobody's questioning it as okay, are they being opportunistic because they know that we are just getting money pumped into our pockets? right now? Like, what is it that it justifies the price increase for all these things? At the end of the day, it's basically PR campaigns they're like, okay, how can we get more money now because Americans have more money? It's disposable income. And it's meant to stimulate the economy. We need to make sure that we're stimulated to the max.
Spending 4 hours in a box together every day can make you say crazy things.
Don't go crazy.
We love you too, Jeremy.
I think what you said makes a lot of sense.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.